Going on, people? I'm back. It's your boy Zane Fletcher Johnson, man. I'm feeling really good. It's nighttime here in Japan, and I have a great subject I want to talk to you guys about. It's one of my favorite subjects in Japanese culture. It is kanji. It's like, nah. But anywho, yes, it is kanji. I have like a super fascination with this great, thing, kanji. So I'm going to, tell you guys a little bit about kanji of what I know. I've only been here for 5.5 months, so I haven't learned as much as I want to, but it's a process, and I'm doing the best that I can. So as much as I know, I will fill you guys in. So basically, kanji is one of the 4 writing systems in Japanese language system. There's katakana, hiragana, kanji, and romaji. So kanji is their original written system. There's over 2,000 kanji, and it was created by this guy named Kobodaishi. His real name is Kukai. I actually have a book on him, so if you're interested, the philosophy, it comes in English, so don't worry about that. It's really good. I picked it up off Amazon. I haven't finished it yet, but this guy is pretty amazing. I mean, once you really understand how kanji works, it's a beautiful thing how he created such a amazing masterpiece. So let me fill you in with a little more information about this beautiful thing. So kanji was basically derived from China. It moved its way into Japan. That guy, Kukai, actually went to China to study Chinese kanji, and then he came back to write Japanese kanji. So they're very similar, but Chinese kanji actually has a lot more. So if you go to China and you know Japanese kanji, doesn't necessarily mean you can get around, because their kanji is a little slightly different. And there's also 2 types of readings. It's called onyomi and kunyomi. Kunyomi is the Japanese reading. So this is how the Japanese pronounce the certain meanings of the kanji, but they also kept the Chinese readings, which is called onyomi. Now between these 2, there can be many different readings. It just depends on the kanji. So I mean, some kanji is harder than others. So it really just comes to memorizing, all the differences. And I mean, in daily life, you'll see a lot of different kanji, so it's very easy to get used to a lot of them. So the ones that that are important, you'll definitely see a lot. When you draw kanji, there's actually a written order, which is pretty awesome to me. You have to write them in the correct order, because you actually can get tested on this if you want to. If you are really fascinated with kanji, there's a test called Kanji Kente, where you basically test your knowledge on kanji. But basically, the order is balanced. You got to go from left to right, up to down, and then you kind of follow that same sequence. I'll show you later in the video. But once you follow that sequence, it goes for all the kanji. So when you start writing kanji that you never wrote before, it kind of an easy motion, because you're so used to the order. It follows the same order for each kanji, which is pretty awesome. To me, it's kind of, I look at it in a spiritual aspect, and to me it's like You know, and has order just like everything else in this universe has order in how it grows. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I put like a nature aspect to it. Not only that, when you start learning kanji, you know, um, you start with really basic kanji. You know, just like you start with atoms, you just start with the basics, and then you build on top of the basics. And then, you know, so once you know the basics, you know, it kind of gets easier to understand the more difficult kanji. But, you know, the basics are very important because a lot of the basics are radicals, and basically what a radical is, it gets put in front of another kanji, and then it gives it a whole nother meaning. And, you know, so I'll show you that as the video continues. Now, based off of my philosophies, I think kanji was based off, you know, how the human mind works. I mean, I really believe that, you know, the Japanese, you know, historical people were just, you know, on point. But, for example, kanji is just very convenient for somebody to learn. It's very easy for you to spot kanji. So, for example, just like, you know, when you see at a red light, you know to stop. It's a symbol. You know, symbols we can, you know, understand very easily. And it's the same thing with kanji, you know. So when you start seeing the kanji, once you know the meaning, it's just like once you see, you're like, oh, that's what that means. It's like quick like that, you know. And to me, it's just like super efficient, and you know, that's what just keeps pushing me to, you know, keep learning more kanji. Not only that, like I said, there's over 2,000 kanji. So it's like, you know, majority of the people don't know the 2,000, but you know, you learn a good majority of the kanji, and I think it really is good for your memory to remember all these different types of kanji. You know, it's just, yeah, I mean, you know, looking at the Japanese people, their memory is pretty good, and you know, I really, you know, think it's beneficial for the human mind. And a big thing is, you know, there's no concept behind kanji. And when I say this, I mean, so like if I drew the kanji for water, you know, water is just water. You don't like expect it to be like a water in a glass, or, you know, a typhoon, a tsunami. It's just water, you know, like the picture of water is all you get. There's no like judgment or your own opinion based off the kanji. So I think, you know, that helps, you know, keep a more observational type of outlook on, you know, the things in nature, which I think really helps. Okay, so basically I'm on 4th grade elementary school kanji. Don't laugh at me, all right? You know, kanji is not easy. And after 5 months, you know, of studying pretty hard, I'm on 4th grade. And, you know, kanji goes up to high school. And I hear that the high school kanji is super crazy hard. But, you know, once you pass the elementary school, that's up to 6 years, you can pretty much read the basic kanji that you'll see around Japan. But so I'm basically going to take the kanji kente for 3rd grade next month. But right now, you know, I'm just doing the 4th grade. As you can see, I study very, very hard. Like I was saying, so you see that you have the kunyomi. This is the Japanese reading. There's all these different, you know, ways that the kanji has meaning. And then you have the Chinese, which is sei. So when you add 2 kanji together, you're actually going to use the onyomi, and it creates a new meaning. Okay? So now I'm going to show you actual writing of the kanji. Now, I have to keep the camera a little steady, so please don't judge me. And I'm still working, on my kanji. So let's just keep in mind also, I believe that there's a ton of knowledge in kanji. And I'm basically going to explain this while I show you guys the kanji. Now let's just switch the hand because I am right-handed. Okay, so I'm going to do an easy one. This is Nihon, which is Japan. Ni, hon. Like I was saying, there is a way to write it. I wrote it in the correct way. The next kanji I will explain. So this is Nihon. Okay, this means Japan. So Ni is actually sun. It means the sun or day. And Hon means either book or the truth. Okay? Now I'm going to do body, which is karada. Body. Okay, so boom, boom. So you usually go from like left to right and then up to down. And then we'll do hone over, left to right, up to down, left, right, boom. So this means body. This means Japan. Now, the only difference is the sun and this little T figure. Now, this little T figure basically represents a person, so there's other kanji like this is Yasumi. This means rest time. You see that I didn't draw that little line. There's little slight differences, but once you start really understanding kanji, you'll basically, be able to understand, all the little differences. So basically, for this one, the body in Japan, to me, I'm always looking for some type of knowledge within the kanji. So the only difference is the T and the sun, right? But, the body, the hone is the same. Now, to me, it means the truth or book. And in this situation, I don't think it means book. It means truth. And this means person, and it means body overall. So to me, it's like the body is the truth. And to my understanding, I believe the body is just like, the universe. And the universe is the truth. I really don't know what the sun means. I mean, to me, it means life. But I can't give you, a direct answer for that. Okay, so that you can see when you add different kanji, it gives it total different meanings. All right. Now, here's an interesting kanji. This is dobutsu. Now, dobutsu is an animal. Okay, so this is do. Butsu. So do, I'll write it in Romaji. Do butsu. Now what this basically means is moving thing. This is move and this is thing. And this moving thing actually means animal. So they're very literal, There's no like perception put to it. A human perception is just like really what they see. Moving thing. And so dobutsu means animal. It's very literal. The Japanese did it from an observational standpoint, which I think is great for people to learn because it doesn't make you use your own perception, but more of a universal perception of things. So, I just think it's pretty cool, that an animal means moving thing. Okay, so let's get to some other kanji. All right, so here's one of my favorite kanjis, and like I said, I just believe that there's, knowledge in kanji. So I'm basically going to draw Shizen, which means nature. Okay, so this is Shizen. Okay, which means Shizen, which means nature. Okay, so this kanji actually means jibun, ji, I'm sorry, which means yourself, oneself. And zen means natural. Comes together, it is nature. Now to me, okay, there's many different G's. The G sound in kanji. This is the onyomi that I was talking about before. The onyomi. Now there's many onyomis with the G sound. Why would they use the G sound that means oneself? So like I said, there's a lot of knowledge in kanji. I believe that, what they're basically trying to say is that you are nature. And, to me, just the way that the Japanese culture is set up, it just like totally makes sense for that, to be the actual meaning of this kanji. And I'll show you another cool kanji, which is consciousness, which is jikaku. So, which is the same oneself. But now you have kaku, which means memory. So this means conscious. And it is jikaku. Now, like I said, oneself, memory, our experiences create our consciousness, you know what I'm saying? So our memories, one's memories. I mean, seriously, do I need to do more? I'll just do more because I love kanji, all right? So this other kanji, which has a wealth of information, it is called taiken. We're going to take the body once again. And we're going to add the kanji ken. So this kanji means experience. Stands for Tai Ken. So this is the Ken part, Tai. Both onyomis are being used because, like I said, when you add two kanji together, you have to use the onyomi. So basically, this means body. Ken means experiment. This means body. So if you think about it, when you go through life, you're experimenting, with your body. You're just going through a bunch of different experiences. And that's what experience is, when you put your body through tests. You know what I'm saying? So, there's a bunch of different kanji that are, just, eye-opening, and every day I'm just, really looking forward to study kanji because, there's just a bunch of information in kanji, They just looked at the world as it was and, made the kanji from that, you know what I'm saying? Like even tree, you can even look at tree. It's just very similar to ki, which means tree. This looks very similar to a tree, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just beautiful, that this written language. You don't even have to say anything, and the observer will know exactly what you're talking about. And like I was saying earlier, it's just like atoms. You add them together and they create, some new type of creation. It's the same thing with the kanji. I mean, you can just see a lot of similarities, and it just shows how knowledgeable the people back in the day were in Japan. Just very, observational and universal in the way that they thought. So, there's ways to, improve your skills in kanji. It's called shoji. It's basically calligraphy, and I'm not doing it as much because I'm focusing on learning other kanji. But, you basically use a brush and ink. It's very popular in Japan. And, once you really get your style down, I mean, you can really create beautiful things. Here, I was just doing basic kanji and lines because lines are very important. They're all based off of lines. And they all have like a little slight curve to give them a little life. It's not, like just straight and plain, That's very important in, the kanji, drawings. Now, I like to say also as well that, kanji takes time to learn. And, you really have to dedicate yourself because you'll forget kanji, within seconds if you don't like really practice and memorize the kanji. So guys, that's pretty much everything I know about kanji. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, and I hope my explanations were pretty clear. As I get better, I will definitely try to introduce more kanji, and I'll let you know if I pass this kanji kente. I'm really, looking forward to taking it, and I haven't taken a test in a long time. I haven't been in college for, a year or two. So, it's pretty exciting, but, kanji is such a beautiful written system. I mean, don't be afraid of it, Yeah, there's a lot of it, but, my God, it's just a ton of knowledge that's waiting to be, explored. So basically, my plan in life, from finding out kanji, I basically want to master kanji. I want to learn as much kanji as possible. I want to learn the Japanese language and then learn actually the old Japanese language because a lot of their dialect has changed over the years. And, eventually once I feel I'm pretty fluent in Japanese, I definitely want to go to China and explore the rest of kanji where it started. I'm sure there's much more knowledge there since it's the origin, and I'll be able to, just, decipher, this beautiful language, So, please just follow me on this journey. If you guys have any questions, please comment below. Okay, I'm willing to talk, and please, give me some criticism, constructive at that. And, tomorrow when I wake up, I will, document, my daily routine of getting ready to go to my job. So tune in and you'll see some beautiful experiences, man. Let's grow together. It's about that love. Peace. Kanji.